We're back. The Ogun State Governor, Ibikunle Amosun, has warned that no fees should be demanded from any student in any of the public schools in the state, as they are totally free. He said principals and headmasters of the schools should desist from collecting illegal fees from students, as parents have complained that their children were sent home for not paying certain fees like PTA and for checking body temperature, those instruments for checking body temperature. What are your thoughts on this? It's your view, let it count. You can call us on 070-806-68014, or you could tweet to us at YourViewTVC. We'd like to hear your thoughts. Before we talk about this, I have to say something that I did. I made one bungle over on Saturday. This governor, Amosun, was a guest at the wedding I went to on Saturday, and I was the MC, and they told me to introduce the president of the government. I said, I would like to welcome the governor, the executive governor of Oyo State. Everybody said, hey, your view. They say, I said, I just know that it's one. I said, I want the APC bush. The guy was not looking like, no, she got you. She didn't know my name. Someone like it. And I was like, okay, Governor Amosun. They said, no, Senator Ibikunle Amosun, something. Or Kiniko, FRA, ASERE, whatever. That thing they always ask their names.
MR, whatever.
Like, I'm being so sorry. No, so I apologize in case they're watching. I'm sorry for bungling your name. All right, back to the matter.
Well,
yeah, what do you think about this policy?
When I read this, I was particularly impressed that the governor would even notice or it would come to his attention that some people were being sent away from school, because according to the research, he said he got some text messages that people were being sent back for PTA, and that's in a state where there's free education. So, one, I'm impressed. It makes me feel like he's working.
As in, how did they get his number, Abi? To be sending him text message?
No, but I think most of the governors tend to publicize. They have an official number.
I don't have Governor Fashola's number. Why?
I could give it to you.
Okay.
You may not get it through. You may not get through.
They have a number.
Because that number I've had it for a long time, but it never gets through. It never goes. This number your colleague cannot be reached. That's what
you
it
can
says.
send a text message.
Okay, true. Shall we send text messages?
All right, but you see, another angle I like to take this story is the fact that, yes, I can understand why he would say PTA levies, other things should be free, especially because he has free education in his school. However,
voluntary.
However, students being sent home, another angle, students being sent home for just not paying their school fees, is that proper? Is that legal for normal school tuition? Like, you know how the recent times, the gentleman left his children, 3 children, in a school for 8 good years. Now, if they had sent those children home, who's going to favor it, the school or the family? So in that situation, bringing that into context, like I can understand the PTA levy issue, but is it appropriate to send a child home simply because they not paid their school fees?
No, it wasn't even school fees they were returning them for.
I know.
It was even PTA.
I know.
No, but you know that this is free,
yes,
free education, so there weren't even school fees involved.
Yes.
I'll tell you a little story. I'm mentoring youths for something I'm co-hosting on Saturday, and I hear up north that as much as the education is free, people stay at home and refuse to go to school because they don't have 50 naira transportation. That, you know, when you calculate 50 naira every day, to and fro your school back home, every day for the whole month, your father will say, you know what, I don't even have that money. Secondly, I don't have money for exercise book, so stay at home. Now, so I totally agree with the governor that if we want to educate our people as a means of empowering them, let nothing return them back home. School fees or PTA levy or whatever. Let nothing, don't send them back home.
But in a situation where that's the public school because it's free.
Yes.
In a private school.
Oh, okay, you're saying private school.
Should a principal...
private school is for money making now. I set up my school to make money. You now come there and come and start begging me. Why? Am I a charity organization?
Okay, so you think you should send the child home?
I don't think that they should send them back home. But some parents will take advantage of, you know, knowing that they're lenient with that, you know, to say, hey, I don't have money until next month.
Okay, Sanzi, you're going to talk about this issue.
Yeah, I was going to say that I don't think they should send them home. But then there are parents as well who are going to take advantage of them. However, the solution I see is that you don't send them home, but then during exam period, you could tell them, okay, notify the parents, if you don't pay this fee by the exam period, your child is not going to take the exams. Okay. That's a better solution, I think. But during class sessions, do not send them home.
I think I like that.
You know, because the school is running charity, Abi.
no, but she makes a lot of sense. Because I know that growing up,
because they will not pay the salary of the teachers.
There are some students, you know, like that I know that they will be sent home because their parents could not afford school fees. Now, these are smart children. So I think Sanzi makes a good point, saying that, let them take their classes. But even in private school, the same thing.
won't
You're
take
not running a
exam.
charity, yes, I understand, but you owe that child education, because if you don't educate that child, tomorrow he'll be the person stealing or doing something illegal.
They run a business. I think we put so much sentiment on all these things. They run a business. They calculate how they're going to pay their salaries. They expect
Based
from
on,
this income that they are
yes,
getting in. Now, if they didn't have anybody in their school, they will understand that, oh, we don't have students, so that's why we don't have money to pay our staff. But when you have students, I feel that a lot of parents put their children in schools that they
are
cannot
too
afford,
expensive,
just to live up to a standard of, oh, my children are attending this grand school thereabouts. If you know that you cannot afford to pay 100 or 200 or 300K for your school fees, you can't pay 10, you can only pay 40K. Then find a school within your means.
Find a public school.
I know there are cases where you have your expectations of the contract coming in or money and you can't make it. But those will be exceptions to the rule. And I know the school will understand with such parents who don't on a regular basis owe school fees, just one-off. But if it's a regular thing, I think it makes sense to send them back.
Let me ask you a question.
Before you ask the question, let me take this call. Good morning. Oh, I'm sorry, I missed that.
Tope, let me ask you a question. About sometime last week, you read the story of the guy who had abandoned his kids. Now, the question is, would you have supported the school sending those kids home? Their parents are not in view. Their school fees hasn't been paid for like 8 years. Should they have been sent home?
They didn't even know where to send them to
now. If they did, they would have probably sent
them. But they
them
could have
somewhere.
chosen to house them somewhere and not educate them. Why? Because they're not paying fees.
Well, that's a very, very good man. 1 in a million. Yeah, the school is a very, very... I'm shocked about that. I'm really impressed about it too. But you see, they can't... You can't work like this. You can't permit this to go on.
And let me take another call. They'll come back to you, Tope. Good morning. Are you there?
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. Go ahead, please.
Yes, I'm a first-time caller.
Yay.
Welcome to the show.
Hey, Jumoke is coming additional. Okay. Yes, when you talk about public school, I went to public primary school, and I felt that public primary school at that particular time was better. But as at that time, no chalk, no tissue paper, no water, and you don't want PTA. So who will pay for all that? I understand that the principal gets money from all these things, but all the necessary things are not available. The only thing available are the teachers and the structure. That's all. So the public school is not totally public. It's not free. We have to bring chalk to school. You have to paint your home blackboard yourself.
Yeah.
And you have to buy tissue paper and buy the cane that the teacher
Even the table and chair you sit on.
You bring them from home.
All right, thank you so much, Kemi. I think I appreciate it.
She brought another angle
we
to
don't
the
know,
story.
Governor Amoson.
So we don't know if Governor Amoson wasn't providing chalks and painting the
No.
blackboards.
According to the article I read, he said everything has been provided.
So what were
Everything
the
has been provided.
PTA levies for
They,
them?
because of this new Ebola issue, the temperature, the infrared thermometer, they're supposed to use to take their temperature.
Why don't you ask the governor?
They make the children pay for that.
Why don't you ask the governor for that? If it's a public
They
school,
provided all these things already. You see, for me, let me explain. Can we go back to the reality of structure in Nigeria? That you get your salary every month from the government. That one is the official one. But the PTA levies are the unofficial money you use in sorting out some bills that will come through.
Know this?
As I said this is the unofficial structure of how things work, because we see that they say they don't even get uniforms. That uniforms are some schools actually provide uniforms, but we go to schools in Nigeria, in Lagos, and not Lagos particularly anymore anyway. But we used to have that happen that they'll tell you to come, you have to pay for the uniforms when
I'll
they
show
are
you my own
provided
experience with my help in the house. But let me take this call first. Good morning. Are you there?
Good morning.
Good morning, Oga.
Good morning, Jumoke. This morning I will agree with you. Public school, honestly, is not a charity home. But I went to public primary school, and I really I never regretted being a public primary school. Methodist primary school, though the school now, I don't know the present position. But let me tell you, our government should be up and doing. They should assist these public schools. Let all material that is needed be available. Let's enjoy the dividends of democracy. Honestly, I appreciate you people. You are doing a wonderful job.
Thank you so much,
and
sir.
that way, our nation will not be put into shambles.
Amen.
Our children are future leaders, and they too will reap from the dividends of
right.
democracy.
Thank you, Nasir.
May I take 3 tweets?
Yes, please.
Ellis Oraka says that is illegal because in a state they practice free education. That shouldn't be, but PTA is always an issue in public schools. Taiwo Samuel says, I think what Governor Ibikunle Amosun is doing, why should students be sent home? Maybe he's saying I support. Ngozi Ezie says, I guess school authorities have discovered a new means to get a piece of the national cake.
But the truth is that
I don't think so, Mario, because I remember back in school, I attended a public school before I moved to private. We used to pay PTA. Now, PTA levy wasn't a lot of money. It was like 50 naira, 100 naira. And I wouldn't exactly say it's their own piece of the national cake, because at the end of the year, they get to organize parents, teachers, meeting and events where teachers get to meet the parents and bond with them. And so I choose to believe that this is where this money goes. Exactly. But I don't exactly know how much they charge them for PTA levy. But I believe PTA should be cheap enough that a parent will just close their eye and open and bring out the money.
Let me
like 100 or
call.
200.
Good morning, are you there?
Good morning.
Yes, ma.
My
Sandra.
dear, it has not been easy. I used to follow your program, so I like you guys. I've been trying to get through to new people, but I'm not getting through to new people. Jumoke, please, there is something you said that is very, very important. But I'm coming in my own angle. Public school now is very, very expensive and difficult to enter. There is this school that is very close to Accord that I want to enroll my child. And they told me that I have to go to Ikeja, that's the Ministry of Education, to go and get a form for my son. And they were saying that it's 30,000. I was then surprised. I said, those days when I put my house out some years back at primary school, the one at Okoko, I just got there, I got a form, I enrolled the child. But now it's not like that. It's very difficult for even common man to put our child or his child in public school.
Okay.
They said it's such a lot that maybe so since 2 years ago. Why?
All right.
Not supposed to be so, because if you don't afford private school, you should be able to put your child in government. So easy. And they are calling money 30,000. If I tell 30,000,
thank you, Sandra. Thank you, Sandra.
So
but
Mariah should share her own story.
It makes, yeah.
Can you verify that?
Well, from Lagos State perspective, when I tried to put my help in school, I was wrong in the sense that I didn't approach the right authority. As I entered the school, in fact, they accosted me. Teachers are already at the gate. They accost you and say, oh, we want to enroll your child. Okay, come, don't worry. Come and see Mr. Something. Mr. Something after you, okay, this is what you need, pay this amount of money. And I believed in Mr. Something. And now I parted with quite a lot of money to this gentleman. Later, now about a year later, my child still did not go to school. She was still going back and forth in the house. And I'm like, they've not given me a document to show that indeed they're a member of the school. So I went back to, they sent her home. And I went back to, I went to the principal. She said, well, madam, you were wrong, because when you came to our school, you should have actually looked for the principal. How do you bring a child to school and not look for who the principal is? Because I principal will tell you don't have to pay anything. All you need. So I paid money to Mr. So-and-so. They called Mr. So-and-so. Well, we're working on the documents. I'm like, so, yes, I know that some teachers go overboard and charge parents for money.
Mariah.
Yes.
Now, I didn't want to say without facts that we, the people, are the problem of the Nigerian polity based on this Governor Amosun issue because I didn't have facts. From what you have said, it is obvious. It is easy to point fingers at the president and say they're chopping money. What are you doing in your private corners?
Because Jumoke, what made me go see the president, the principal, was because she was scared that the inspectors of Lagos will find out that she has some ghost children. So she was doing her own job.
By sending
her home. She did her own job by sending that girl home. When I now saw the girl, why are you not in school? And they sent me home. I was now forced to go and see the principal, who now told me that, madam, you were wrong. So you see, it wasn't totally the school's fault. It was also my fault.
We have a culture of cutting corners because we want things to be done
corruption
faster.
has been in.
Yes, we want to be done faster.
Okay, we have to close because we have
But we need to investigate that story concerning the 30,000.
But generally, we're happy that Governor Amosun at least is insisting that no payment should be.
And he has a listening ear.
He has a listening ear. Good for him.
And he provides for other miscellaneous for the school.
Good for him. We have to hear the other side of the story. On that note, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, The coroner's report on the collapsed synagogue church building and the incessant building collapse in Nigeria is on Let's Talk. Stay with us, we'll be right back. Welcome back. Building collapse is becoming a regular occurrence in Nigeria, resulting in enormous loss of lives and property. A coroner's inquest into the Synagogue Church of All Nations, September 12th tragedy that killed 116 people, has revealed that the building did not have a planning approval and that the ongoing construction on the existing 5 floors to 8 was not professionally executed. The Lagos State Commissioner for Physical Planning, Olutoyin Ayomire, also said that several other structures within the site were substandard. We'll learn more on what determines the structural integrity of a building. Joining us this morning to discuss this is the former president, Nigerian Institute of Building and board member, Council of Registered Builders of Nigeria. That's Builder Chuks Omeafe. Welcome to the show, sir.
Good morning.
It's so good to have you.
Thank
So you are an expert in this area.
Yes.
So we're going to use the synagogue building as a case study.
Yes.
So now they've said that the reports have come out saying that they didn't have approval. What exactly does approval contain? What do you look at to get an approval for a building like that?
I think to start the discussion, I want to take us back a bit to what has happened in the past.
Okay.
Thank God, or maybe unfortunately, the synagogue church is used as a case study now. I think the important thing to note here is that there's a kind of policy gap in terms of institutional framework in the construction industry. And what do I mean by this? What is happening now is a reflection of what has happened in the past. There's actually no change in terms of policy when it comes to the issue of approval and construction. There are 2 stages involved in a housing procurement. You have the design stage and the construction stage. Design stage specifically involves, if you're going to put up a building, for instance, the law says you must go and meet an architect. We do the design for you. If you're going to more than 1 floor, you need to go and meet a structural engineer. We put the bones and tells you what kind of reinforcement you need to make the building stand. From there, maybe Lagos State has other documents they request from you, tax clearance and things like that. These are the things that make up the approval stage. Once you submit that to the town planning office, I'm sure there's an in-house structural engineer that looks at what other people have submitted, and once they meet the necessary minimum requirement, this thing approval is given. That is where design stops. You see, these collapses happen not at this design stage. They happen mostly at the construction stage. That's why I say there's a policy gap. In construction stage, what are most states of the construction, what have they done in terms of policy, institutional policy? They say, once you've gotten your approval,
You can start building.
you start building. What happens is they tell you, okay, submit your approval. They give you building permit, and they give you a form. They call it Form C. This Form C entails professional signing this form, to show that they are involved in this project. That is where I have a problem. The Lagos State Commissioner for Physical Planning mentioned quite clearly that the fact that you have a building plan approval does not mean your building is safe. Of course. Because buildings don't collapse at that stage.
Yeah.
They collapse when they are going to be put up.
Yes.
So what I'm saying is that in terms of construction,
Yes.
what have they done in regulating that aspect?
So you've only regulated the design phase.
Perfectly,
Not regulated
perfectly.
the construction
Just stage is still left for all comers. And what do you have in real life in the country? Once you have your approval, you can just go and look for artisans.
Yes,
And
now.
just start
Put them together, call an engineer to come in and look at what they are doing and sign off. But you see, people forget that a building site is like a factory where a product is being produced. There should be a factory manager, ordinarily, who puts all this together in terms of safety, in terms of quality. The engineer and architect who did design initially comes in to only check what they are doing. Is this thing done according to what I've done? But on a daily basis, Somebody is responsible for the management of the process of construction.
Sir, are you saying that based on this lapse in the law,
Yeah.
you cannot hold anybody responsible for a collapse that claims
In
116
the
lives?
Yeah, in the recent, yes. But what happens most times is that once the design is done, you as a client takes your design and say, okay, you have your brother and sisters.
In that case, we can hold the person who built, because we're using this as a case study, the
Yes.
synagogue case. So do we now hold the Pastor
builder?
T.B. Joshua
Of course,
responsible
of course.
for the loss of lives?
Because
being
he
that,
has not done the needful.
Oh,
and his building also wasn't approved.
Was it approved?
Now, is there any punishment on the? I know you said you had a policy, you had a paper, you have some policy you were pushing at the House of National
Yes,
Assembly.
National Building Code.
Yes, that it's not been approved till
Up
now.
to now, the
Since
law.
when?
2006.
wow. 8
So-
years.
There's
So what
no
does this
law.
code entail? Sorry, let me just
The code gives you minimum standard for construction design and maintenance. What that means in layman's terms is that it tells you who does what. An architect designs, an engineer designs, a builder manages construction processes, and things like that. It tells you
But
the
let me
boundaries.
understand something, Sam. A TB Joshua now
Yeah.
has said, he has gotten the approval for the design. Just like you said, everybody gets that approval. For
No,
the
but they say it doesn't have
He
an
didn't
approval.
even have the approval.
Not even for the design. I thought
No,
it was just
no.
for construction.
No,
No,
for
he
design.
didn't have approval.
My question is, it's not just the 5-story building that had extra 3 added on top.
Yes.
The other buildings within the
premises
area
Are
are
substandard.
substandard. So the thing right now is, it probably was lucky that it crashed at the point it did.
No, that's the one that crashed.
Yes.
The one that is still standing,
It's also substandard.
which they said is substandard. I mean, I don't know what Lagos is going to do about that.
It
Now,
should
my
be
it
my
down.
question is
Yes.
there a time frame from the construction to, is there a time frame for these substandard buildings to cave in?
Not all of them do
In
cave in.
recent, it depends on what the building is subjected to. I'll give you a typical example. You do a design for a house, for instance, like maybe a residential building, in which case you look at the people who are going to occupy the building. You can actually count the numbers. Then suddenly you turn into a commercial building.
Hotel.
What you have done is to increase the load on the building. If it doesn't
Put
collapse
generator
immediately, it
inside.
will collapse over time. Gradually, it will give in. Because you have increased the load on the building.
So what are the punishments? Because if people are found
Punitive
guilty,
measures.
what are
Well, you see, what the coroner is trying to do is try to define exactly what happened. And from what you have heard so far, because I'm sure a lot of things will still come out. Because somebody came on channel some time ago and said they have a approval for 12-story building. And they have only done sewage collapse. So this information for me is very strange.
Conflicting.
Very
All right.
conflicting.
Now, Dangote just said that they're going to reduce cement prices to 1,000 naira, hopefully to help curb this all the collapsing of this
Collapses.
building. Do you think that's a good move, or would that help in any way?
Yes, I say if it brings it down to 1,000 naira, that's a good thing for Nigerians. But the truth is that cement on its own will not cause collapse. It is the application of the cement that causes collapse.
But you know, people cut corners because cements are so expensive.
No,
Some
no,
will
it-
reduce the quality, the
amount
amount
of
of cement they put in the
No, when
sand
they are
or in the
cutting
blocks.
corners, they are cutting corners not because because of the cost of cement. No, it's because they lack the knowledge. That it's not just mixing the cement that matters. Or at what ratio are you mixing the cement? You have cement, you have sand, you have granite.
Okay.
There
I have
must be
call.
a ratio.
Let me take this call from our viewers. Hello, are you there?
Good morning.
Good morning. Go ahead, please.
Yeah. This is I'm calling from Agbara.
Welcome to the show. Go ahead.
Yeah. I want to take us back to the first topic.
Okay, go ahead.
Please. Based on that school fees of the thing, there is one school in along the Nisana Road, to secondary school thereabouts. They are doing more than that. They are not spending, but they have their own way of collecting money from the students. My immediate younger sister happened to be there, one of their students. And they are telling her to bring 1,900 naira for the school fees.
Hello?
Okay. we lost
Okay,
it.
I think we
Oh,
lost
so
it.
sorry
Now,
about
I
that.
have a question because, okay, let me just start with an example. The people who lodged into that building, they had no idea it was going to cave in. Now, the normal man outside there who is planning to buy an apartment, are there things they should look out for? How can we identify a building that is up to standard?
And it's not up to standard.
Ordinarily, once you finish a building, the Form C that Lagos State gives to you is, I think it's for confirmation of quality for habitation.
Okay.
It tells you that this building has been done to
Professionally.
specification to stand up because everybody signs off it. So if you have a copy of that, that can give you a level of comfort.
Is that available to the public?
Yes, of course you can demand
can
for
demand
it.
for it.
You can ask them to give it to you, copy to show that this building that you are trying to buy meet necessary standards. You can do that, you know. That's the only way. Apart from that, is to carry out maybe integrity test, which involves you spending some money.
Spending some money,
You have
exactly.
to go and call Lagos State Material Laboratory Test to come there with the equipment to check all the parts of the building to show that this building is standing firm and it won't collapse in a short time.
Okay, Corona investigating the synagogue collapse has asked that Pastor TB Joshua comes within this week to defend himself. And if he doesn't, he should be arrested and brought to him. Now, please tell us, is there any way that he can go scot-free, you know, based on what has happened? The collapse, Lagos State has come out to say, we didn't give you an approval for what you have done. Does he have an excuse to go scot-free on this issue?
No, I think I want to see a situation where the Lagos State government, especially the commissioner who have said there's no been approval, and TB Joshua or his representatives come face to face. Because they've said they have an approval.
Yeah, that should happen this week.
Yes. So if they come face to face, then we now take it from there.
All right.
Okay.
Let me take this call then. Good morning. Are you there? Hello? Hello? Okay, I think we lost that
There's a
call.
question on Twitter. Shua says, please ask your guest about the theory of controlled demolition of that guest house.
Yes, I think what people are trying to say is that, yes, you can have controlled demolition. The building that was brought down along Broad Street was done through that process.
Yes.
It's a scientific process where a building demolition is controlled within a particular space. Where this one, I'm not sure what happened, but like I said severally, let's just do the needful force. Let's go ahead and look at the circumstances.
There were theories that was running around saying, oh, if it was collapsed by itself, what happens is that the structure underneath, first of all, comes down. Or somebody was saying that, oh, you hear a grrr.
Then everybody can escape.
Yeah. Is that true? I mean, how do we?
If you talk of controlled demolition,
Yes.
it just comes down on its own.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I've not seen the picture of how this building collapsed.
Okay.
But let's even leave that. Let's see what they have done. What have they done? Approval, who is involved professionally, involved in these structures. But that is where to start from.
And then should somebody be constructing a house where people are still living? Should construction be
That
going
can
on
only
in
happen in this part of the world.
Tweets.
That's where you don't move into a house.
Now, another question I wanted to ask you, sir, is that at the moment you have a house, two-story building, and you now say you want to raise it to 8 floors, do you have to go back to get additional approvals? Or can you even get your approvals for 8 floors and just start gradually?
Yes.
You can do that.
You can get approval for 8 floors.
And just start with maybe 2 floors. And over time, you don't even need to go back
No,
again.
there's a time frame. That is what some of the things policy gaps are talking about. People get approval maybe 20 years ago.
Okay.
And they start putting up the building now.
Yes.
Circumstances surrounding that space of the soil might be different.
Okay.
So these are some of the things as we evolve.
Let me take this call. I don't want to lose this call. Then come to Jumoke. Yes. Hello, are you there?
Hello, Mariah. Good
Yes,
morning.
good morning. Go ahead.
Yeah. I'm my first time caller.
Welcome to the show, sir.
Yeah. Hello. I want to greet you guys for job well done.
Ladies, thank you.
Ladies, but I'm sorry. I'm also Yakubu, who normally calls on this program. I like the guy very much. So he always keeps my mind. So actually, I was also trying to reach you on this program, but unfortunately to be got across today.
Okay.
So also greet your guests over there.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Oga.
Going to tweets, may I take a few? Mercy Taiwo says, what will be the punishment? Shai Dai says, a pastor of that caliber should not use cheap laborer and contractors. Hassan Aderogba says, proper monitoring by concerned authorities and dealing with anyone cutting corners should deal with this. Bolarinwa Ajayi said, you ladies didn't touch on Chibok girls. Ellis Oraka says, if I may say, why did TB Joshua didn't use a proper architect and didn't go through the right channel when the construction is going on?
All right, let me come to Sansa then.
Now, my question is, Tope had asked the question earlier about cement, and you had said that cement doesn't really cost...
it's the application of it.
It's the application of it.
Application of it. Now, I want to ask you to just briefly explain this cement reformation program Because we've had a guest here who told us that 4.4 to 2.5 is this normal standard we use for building. But then you find a situation where a lot of people use 32.5, and that's not the standard one for building. So does this reformation touch on that part?
Well, let me say that if as a nation, we want to upgrade this kind of cement we are using, I mean, it's okay. But let's not give it an excuse that because one is bad, that's why we are moving to this level. No. We've been using 2.5 cement grade for a very long time, and nothing has really happened. We are not complaining about it. Because in the recent, cement itself, like I said, we've not had any challenge about cement in this country. The challenges you have are the application of the cement, where a man goes to the site, mix cement for over 5 hours. The cement has lost the strength targeted. And when you apply that to a building, of course, the building will collapse.
All right, I think I have a call. Good morning, are you there?
Yes, good morning.
Sorry for keeping you. Go ahead, please.
How are you today?
Very well.
Fine.
I have problem with government. Government has hands in all these collapsed buildings. First and foremost, the synagogue building, or what is it called? When they started that building, that area has local government. Why can't they check and, on this really they be going up and down and they will mark buildings that that's bungalow. They will mark buildings that this one is due to demolish and whatever. And there are local government over there, and they're seeing that they added more buildings on that building until it collapsed. And now government is saying they didn't have approval or whatever. What nonsense is that? When they started that building, where are the government?
All right. Thank you so much, Kola.
I agree with you, Mariah.
Yes.
Even renovating your building, you see government will come and put an X.
We have issues with church and immunity. People are scared of churches. They are scared of religious, sentimental places. During this situation, the president came to visit him, and no press conference. The governor was there, nothing. So really, we have this mentality that if a church or is a man of God, or don't go there, don't touch, don't do anything. But however, we've lost over 100 lives. This needs to be investigated accordingly, and it should be punitive measures should be taken so that we don't have recurrence of such.
Now, sorry, a final question. When you're renovating, which a lot of people embark on, do you need a different permit to renovate your building?
Yeah, if your renovation is going to be a critical one, let me give you a typical example. If you have a residential building, for instance, and you want to turn it into maybe an hotel, or until maybe you want to add 1 or 2 floors, you need to go back for approval because critical elements will be affected. So they need to confirm that, what you are trying to do, you've taken an extra precaution to safeguard it against any failure. You need to go back. But if you are just painting your building, for instance, you don't need an approval for that.
Removing doors and windows. You have a phone call.
No, not a call.
Even now in Lagos State, removing doors and windows involve approval. They ask to come for approval.
So what's
But you don't know that door you are removing
may weaken something.
may be at a critical point. So
Interesting.
I've learned, somebody told me that they want to do innovation, change the doors to make the building look modern.
Modern.
And they say they want to come for approval, which I think is good.
Really, it's good that I know because my mother is doing some renovation right now, and I was advising her to build down this wall, and so now I need
approval for that.
So I'll tell her to get an approval. But what's the solution? Because we have to close. What exactly is the how do we solve this issue of building collapse? What's the way forward?
Yeah, very critically, I say, let Lagos State government look at the building control agency. There's a gap in the framework that sets it up. Like I say, a building site is like a factory. I'm a builder, for instance, and the building code says my job is to manage process of construction on a daily basis. Where is the builder in all this structure? That's the question. Once you get an approval, there's no law that says engage a builder, because if a builder is on site, he will ensure that an architect is there, an engineer is there to check those parts of their input. But the way it is now, you just get an approval, go to the site,
Get artisans.
give you Form C. People sign off some Form C. Are you even sure that those people that sign off some Form Cs are the people that are involved in the project? So these are the questions. And I'm sure Lagos State is able to put that in place to a large extent. I'm sure we can reduce this issue of collapses. Yes.
All right. I think we had a good show.
So there's a tweet talking about the government agency. Adiola Adediwe says, until Lagos State government sanitizes LABSCA. What's the meaning of that, sir?
Lagos State Building Control Agency.
Okay. There will always be building collapse in Lagos, Shikena.
All right.
So they're saying we need
note,
to sanitize the agencies involved.
on that note, we end the show. Thank you very much, sir, for coming. I think we learned quite a lot. Ladies, thank you. We had a great show. Please please don't forget to watch a repeat broadcast of this program at 11:30 p.m. tonight. You can also watch previous episodes by visiting YouTube/TV Entertainment and search for Your View. The best cure for breast cancer is early detection. Get tested today. Okay, please tell your wife to get tested.
I
Very,
did.
very important. I know you got tested, Jumoke. But have you gotten tested? Sanzi, on this show. Please go and get tested. Bye bye. See you tomorrow. God bless you. Bye-bye. Oh, we are on concert.